Was that me?
I think you hit the spring.
Oh, it was like dong.
You ready?
Yo, dong.
Welcome to episode number 260. Of the Keep Up Podcast.
Where any noise you hear is just the dong of retrieval.
What's the dong of retrieval?
Dude, you've never heard of the dong of retrieval?
No, I don't know.
It's a gift from the gods.
Oh.
And when you hear it, you get retrievaled.
Okay.
You get retrievaled from the gods.
It just makes a lot of different kind of noises.
Dude, it's the dong of retrieval.
Because you said any noise you hear.
Right.
Is the dong of retrieval.
Right. Well, just be prepared for it.
I mean, that's not what you said, though.
No, but I'm just saying, like, the dong of retrieval is always there for you.
Okay. What is being retrievaled? I don't want any more answers from you. Actually.
You're asking questions that...
Welcome to the Keep Up Podcast, where I'm Brett and Tim is Tim.
That's me!
We talk about all the things we consume, be it media or food.
Or in this case, 400 pounds of sugar.
Yeah, we did couple of food challenges. For anyone who's not privy to it, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/thekeepup if you want any extra bonuses. That was the largest piece of dust I've ever seen.
I thought it was
in
a
my
fly.
Life. That was crazy. Your face went crazy. So yeah, on our Patreon we have a running tally of speed food challenges.
Speed food challenges.
Me versus my brother Tim.
Who's that?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
And today we did two that were just a little too sweet.
They were too sweet.
And I just feel weird.
Yeah, well, it's like...
And I love sugar.
Yeah, it's like staying up all night.
Yeah.
And being awake the next day.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
It is kind of like that. It's similar. Did we almost throw
I was on the cusp.
My body wasn't stoked about what was going on. So
My body.
Little shredder, you idiot. So what happened? Oh yeah, so patreon.com/keepup if you want some extra bonuses. Right. Huge shout out to our patrons. And we have new patron.
We do.
Chuck. Welcome to the party, my friend.
Chuck, you're the coolest Chuck I know.
The coolest Chuck.
Cooler than Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
Cooler than Charles Manson.
Wow. Okay.
Cooler than...
Staying very murdery so far.
Chuck, the super spy.
Although Manson didn't really do the murders, right?
Nah, he just talked people into it, Brett.
Right. Okay.
He was a good guy.
Right. But you're saying... Chuck's even better.
Chuck's even better than the good guy.
What about Charles Dickens?
Chuck, did you write anything? Because Charles Dickens wrote Christmas Carol, and that's classic.
That's true.
But you know what?
What?
Chuck's better than Charles.
Wow.
Than the Dickens.
Yeah, better than the Dickens.
Better. That's what they say.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Sweet thanks.
Spanks. Yeah, Chuck, thank you for being a patron. And speaking of our Patreon, we spent some time today updating that. So there's going to be some polls on there. And we set our first goal, which is at we're only $4 away from the goal. That could be 4 new patrons, because at the $1 tier, you get access to all the polls. Right. You get a shout out.
Right.
You get to interact with some of the stuff we got going on the Patreon.
Yeah, and once we hit that goal, Brett, what do we get? What do we give to the people?
We're gonna commit to doing.
We're gonna commit
1 live video per month.
What?
Where we just hang out with you guys. And with the last time we put it out there on stream, the consensus was people wanted a mukbang type situation.
Yes, where we would get a bunch of different foods and eat it and just chat with you guys.
Yep.
Not necessarily a food challenge, but you know, a good amount of food.
Yeah.
A normal amount for us.
Right.
A massive amount for
maybe
normal.
Impressive to some. But...
Right. But to us, it's just a lunch.
Yeah, just lunch.
So yeah, we have the option of doing a mukbang, which seemed to be what people, again, in stream said. We also will, we're open to any ideas, but the other ones we threw out there was a movie night, where we would just stream a movie. Obviously, we couldn't do it live on like Twitch or whatever, but we'll do it either on Patreon, or we'll find an avenue where we could stream it.
Yep.
Or do a live gaming sesh, where Brett and I will play some game together, or against each other.
We could have people jump in too, depending on the game.
Yeah,
like
we could totally make it a game
Shredder's
night.
Revenge. Yeah. So we're gonna do one, and it'll vary too, but we'll do one live stream hangout per month, which would be dope. On top of what we're doing right now, which is recording live streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/Collection Revolution. That's Tim's Twitch channel. We're here most Wednesdays. So.
Most Wednesdays, even Ash Wednesday.
I don't know. It depends what's going on, I guess.
Okay, I guess it does.
Maybe we're fasting social media and podcasting.
That is a great thing to fast.
You know, it is, dude. It's hard. Do you have any like? What are your parameters for social media right now? Do you have like a routine? Is it just incorporated? However, because I need to be hyper aware of like how I'm using it, because it will affect me negatively.
Eat your soul
by the end of a day.
So I have essentially quit TikTok.
Okay, really?
I just don't go on it because I know exactly it only has negative effects on me.
I'm the same way.
I just feel like when I'm on it, it's sucking away. It's hours. I lose hours.
Hours, yeah, for sure.
And even when I make content on it, it's rewarding to a degree, but I find I don't get exactly what I want from it compared to other social medias.
Yeah.
So I should still make content on it because I do good, but I hate it. I hate it.
I feel very similarly. Like with music stuff, I was pretty steadily posting on TikTok, and then I hopped off because I realized I was posting just to post. I wasn't really posting work I was necessarily proud of.
Yep.
Which I think is what social media kind of begets. Not from everyone. Some people find their stride and that's like their main platform. But for me, I just started doing it just to like feel like I was keeping up with things.
Yep.
Keep up podcast. But then it just like morphed into this thing where I would post something and then just dwell all day on whether or not like someone was going to see it or respond to it or whatever. So now I just like really I've gotten away from being like I need to post this much and this often. And I posted something the other day on TikTok, just like a verse that I put in my Instagram stories.
Yes,
and that
I
felt
saw
like
that.
You saw that.
Yep.
So that felt like
good work.
Oh, thanks, man. I put it in my stories, and a bunch of people responded, and it was cool. But then it was gone because it wasn't an official video. It wasn't like
a post.
Yeah, it was literally just me kind of like chilling. Here's a verse I'm working on. And I think that's what like stories are good for, because people who are actually going through your stories are usually people that either pay attention to your work or they know you well or whatever. And on TikTok, I posted it, and I just immediately felt like I threw it into this void, and it just felt awkward. I was like, ugh, it feels like, I don't know what it is, but I just have like a bad taste in my mouth about posting stuff there for some reason. And I don't know why it is, because I had a mostly positive experience. I think I just get too overwhelmed with like how many socials there are to keep up with, and then I doom scroll, and I'm really trying to like remove that entirely.
I essentially have put myself in the position where when I get up in the morning, I'll usually like scroll for an hour to get updated on like news and what my friends are posting and stuff.
Yes.
And then I'll do like some various work throughout the day, and then at lunch again I'll check, and then I usually post right before I go live, and I'll post like a selfie or some kind of thing like about my stream. And then I'll look on it variously throughout the day. The worst is when I'm playing a game and it has a lot of loading screens, because then I'll always reflex to pulling up my phone,
dude.
And then I could like the game could load like 2 seconds, but then I'm spending 10 minutes on my phone. So I'm like, I'm never gonna beat this game. It takes me forever.
I know,
but it's my fault.
And it's like, why can I not? That's what's starting to bother me. Is like, why can't I just sit and wait?
Yeah.
Like, I can't sit through. I don't love commercials, but I watch stuff on Tubi sometimes.
Yep.
And they have commercials.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't not pick up my phone when a commercial comes on, because I'm like, I don't care about that.
That's the thing. I mean, you can use your mentality is I can use my time better.
Yes. Yeah.
I can watch an ad on something that I like, as opposed to, because no matter where you go, there's ads everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And anytime one comes on, I'm like, oh, I'll just go on my phone and like look at my own stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I'm like scrolling through targeted posts.
Yeah.
It's like, it might as well just be ads.
Right.
And I'm flipping through it. It feels impulsive. It's weird.
And then have you ever paused a movie to continue scrolling?
Yes.
Like it comes back. Yep.
I have, because I find a post or a video that I like either want to read or finish watching.
Yeah. Because the other thing is, you might be, or this is my mentality, that it might disappear forever. I'll never see the video again.
Yeah.
I'll never see the post.
Yeah.
And so I got to watch it then and there.
Right.
And it's got my attention.
I've totally had that. And Do you ever have the thing? Have you ever seen a video and you're like, I want to watch this.
Yes.
But I want to watch it later.
Yeah.
But I don't want to like it because I don't necessarily want whatever this is in my algorithm. Have you ever had that happen?
Yeah.
And I'm going through it in my head and I'll stare at it and I'm like, well, obviously this is interesting to me. Why don't I want this in my algorithm? But it's like
I bookmark it. I always bookmark things.
Bookmark it.
Yeah.
Where do you even find those?
So if we're on TikTok, there's just the little bookmark symbol. You know, it's the rectangle with the
I know the symbol. I've hit it on accident. Yeah. I don't know what it's doing.
So that's usually in the same place where you can find like your liked post. It's just either farther down. Again, if we're talking TikTok, you go to like where your liked videos are. Yeah. I believe it's directly next to it.
Interesting.
And bookmarks are different from likes. Because likes show you publicly like it, while bookmarks are like, oh, I secretly like this.
Oh, ooh. It's the private tab.
But I do that because my liked videos, people can also see what you like, unless you make it private or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
So with the bookmarks, it's stuff I want to watch later that I don't know if I like or not. So,
right.
But I do that. That's on X. That's on Instagram. You can do it everywhere.
So you're telling me there's a tool specifically to handle the thing I was just talking about having a problem with.
Yeah.
All right, good to know. So PSA, everyone, you guys should be careful with social media usage. But also
check us out all the time.
Yeah, find us at the Keep Up Podcast on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
Avoid social media, but not us.
Yes, right, exactly. Yeah. We're a safe space.
We're safe.
I think, do we jump into things? You got anything else for this week?
No, I think that's it. We went over all the new Patreon stuff we did.
Yep.
So again, check that out. And I think we can finally do the thing.
You ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
All right. Let's check out what's on this. You don't have
the bulletin board.
Man, stream. We have a transition.
That's amazing.
It's amazing, and we're gonna add a button for stream. But
yes.
Right now,
it's my fault.
It's an audio exclusive.
Right. So just imagine a lot of cool sounds. Also, Jones, thanks for being the special baby of the stream.
Jones!
I hope your butt is warm, and as the special baby, you deserve 100 warm butts. Sent to you on a cloud of heavenly buttery.
Heavenly buttery.
Thanks for being here, Lee. Thanks for being special. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're ready.
Ready?
Going to the bulletin board.
Tim, how do you feel about the new transition?
I freaking love it.
Yeah.
Brett, you did a great job.
When I sent it to you, you kept texting me about how you couldn't stop playing it over and over again and laughing at it.
Yeah.
And I was also, at the time, probably on like my 13th listen through, just laughing at it.
Because it's so just funny.
I found every stupid noise.
Yep.
Well, it's only a couple instruments. But I was like, these are really dumb sounding. And then trying to roughly match the sounds.
Which I don't know how you did that.
It's close. They're not all perfect.
Yeah.
It's still really funny. And you did the weirdest. Like, it just keeps going. It's so funny.
It's really... So if you're listening to the audio podcast, which is what you're listening to right now, it's the best thing ever. But I'm just saying, if you're watching the video, you missed it this time. There's benefits to both, guys. I want you to know there's benefits to both.
Yeah, Tim doesn't have a button for the stream, so listeners, you got the exclusive on that.
Right.
The first time we ever used the bulletin board.
Yeah, and I ripped it away from those on the video.
And I got to say, the first thing on the bulletin board.
Yes. Is
that maybe we're not podcasting next week?
Oh yeah, I guess.
We should decide.
Yeah. What? Why you do it in here, Brett?
I don't know. I was gonna do it in the beginning and I forgot, and now we're here.
No, okay.
I was gonna say, like, real quick, heads up, everyone.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
We've done it every year, I think.
What?
Skipped Thanksgiving.
Skip Thanksgiving.
It skipped the podcast because Wednesday or Thursday. It's always been on a Thursday.
Yeah, it's always been Thursday.
Yeah.
We used to record Thursdays.
And smart people would record earlier in the week, but we're busy.
We're busy.
It's a busy week.
I'm not gonna have a car early next week.
Yeah. See? Okay.
Oh, my cars are broken.
Brett doesn't have a car. So, yeah, no podcast next week.
We'll confirm at the
end.
Yeah,
we'll conform.
No, I will never conform.
Time to conform, Brett.
Rebel without a cause.
Cause without a rebel.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end.
Okay. Sure.
That's not what the bulletin board's
for. It's about news.
Yeah, what do you got, Tim? This is new, guys. We've only done this a few times.
Yeah,
if you're new to the podcast, Tim brings us some tidbits from the arts and entertainment world.
Yes.
That we can discuss and have thoughts about.
An intellectual conversation.
Yeah.
Which some would argue, doesn't this just belong in TV or movies? But there's more to it.
There's more to it.
There's more thought put into
different.
it. So, Brett.
What?
You know about Warner Brothers.
I'm familiar.
You know about, like, HBO Max and how they tried to merge with Discovery.
Yes.
And it caused a lot of turmoil within WB. Turmoil.
Yeah.
So, recently, have you heard of a movie called Coyote versus Acme?
No.
So this was a live action / 3D, animated hybrid movie.
What?
In which, so the coyote and the roadrunner would bleed into the real
Wile E.
world. Yes, Wile E. Coyote.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. And they would bleed into the real world for some crazy crossover antics.
That does sound vaguely familiar.
I know there was definitely talks about it for a while,
but it didn't come out.
Now, so here's the thing. Here's the bullet, Tim.
Yeah.
So this movie is finished, completely finished,
okay,
wrapped up,
done,
ready to be put out. Warner Brothers has decided to not only cancel and shelve the movie, but to write it off as a tax write-off, like they did with Batwoman. $75 million is what they stand to make for this, which the movie has proven. They did test screenings and has proven to be super successful. And they don't want to sell it. Now, there is, I will be adding later that they have gone back on this, but at least for the initial story, that they wouldn't sell it to other companies to like have it on their streaming platforms. They won't put it for free on their platform.
Oh my God.
They just strictly shelved it because it was easier to write off as a tax write-off. Apparently, I guess the idea is that the $75 million is guaranteed, where if they put it out, there's a chance they won't make it.
But dude, that's making movies.
You take the chance, you release the movies, and it's a gamble.
Like and I know stuff gets shelved, but like if it's testing well,
yes.
And it's not like this is a no-name property.
Right, it's Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
I wonder, my main thing with it is I wonder how well Space Jam did. Space Jam 2. Because that's the closest, like,
I don't know, actually,
recent Looney Tunes thing as far as movies and live action, like this type of movie. So I don't know how it performed. I could look into it, but so people are rightly upset. And so I guess they've actually done it to a third movie too, which kind of went under the radar for me, but it's a movie called Holiday Haunt.
Unfamiliar.
Same thing happened. It was completed and they shelved it for a tax write-off.
Oh my gosh. So wait, they can't write it off. I mean, maybe this is a dumb question, but I'm not familiar with this.
Oh, it was a Scooby-Doo movie.
No.
To celebrate Scooby-Doo's first Christmas. So it's a sequel to the Scoob movie. It's an hour and 2 minutes. So it must have been like just some Christmas special or something.
What? Why would they?
Yeah, despite its release being canceled by Warner Brothers, the score was still recorded in August 2022. So that's weird.
Scoob was great.
That one's also finished and could come out, but they shelved it.
Shelving it.
Yeah. But yeah, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
Well, so the idea is if they release it, they can't use it as a tax write-off,
right? Because I guess the idea is like you can say it was a failure or that it. I don't know how they could do it.
God,
they just can.
I just hate that that's an option. Like, there's a part of me that's like, I'm sure that law or that taking that route is beneficial to some businesses, but that. I'm just thinking of the amount of people that put work into those movies.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know Batgirl. Was it Batgirl?
Yeah.
Batgirl was one that got, like, a huge outrage.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, how do you...
Nothing's crazier to me than having a fully completed movie and not release it.
Yeah, movies... The fact that movies get made is insane.
Yes.
Right? Like, the amount of people and work that goes into it. For it to ever become a completed product is crazy. And then for the big names that are attached to those, like just properties, but then the talent, it's just...
And the wasted years that these people put into it. And they can't put these on their like resume or show off their acting chops or their editing chops or whatever they've done.
I didn't even think about that. I can't imagine. Like,
it's insane. It's so anti-everything. Anti-workers, anti-consumers, like... It's bad for everybody except for
art.
the big... Yeah, anti-art. So
it's just money.
It's just money. And so this is the third time Warner Brothers has done it. Now, since that came out, Warner Brothers, because of the huge backlash, they are now open to selling it to different places for them to put on their streaming platforms.
Really?
Yeah.
But still not going to just release it.
Still not going to, and not even put it on HBO Max, which they own, which is them. You know?
That is very weird. Like, what's your commitment at this point to not releasing it? Like,
I don't know. I don't know how expensive can it be to put on your streaming platform when it's finished and it's your own platform.
I know.
I guess like to run the servers, but how much does that ultimately cost?
Well, if the concern is money, I'm sure I can't imagine you make a ton off of just
streaming. Yeah, it'd probably be it would be more beneficial probably for them to sell it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's regardless of all that, you don't have a finished movie and put it away.
No,
You don't just shelve it. Maybe save it for later, but be open about that and be like, we'll release it next year when it's better. Like,
yeah, especially if there's not something that like it testing well is the strangest thing.
Yeah, it tested well. Everybody who saw it, like they came out on Twitter and was like, I saw an early screening. This was going to be great.
Yeah.
John Cena's in it. He's in it. There's James Gunn produced it. Like there's a ton of good names attached to it. So the lots of different fallouts and stories coming out since then. They are trying to sell it to other companies, to like Netflix, Amazon, all that stuff.
Sure.
It also came out that and I don't know who was necessarily like people who are pitching their movies to Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
They were told by their agents to not pitch it to Warner Brothers anymore because of the chance of it being canceled.
Oh yeah.
So Warner Brothers lost on a ton of potential movies because if they're canceling and shelving movies, why go there to make your movie?
That of course. If you're gonna cancel 3 big things like that,
a Scooby-Doo movie, a DC superhero movie, and a Looney Tunes movie. Huge properties.
Then what chance does anyone, like if I'm pitching a movie that's not part of some big universe, I'm like, why are they going to put mine out?
Plus, how do you there's no guarantee that they won't cancel it on you.
And the whole time, I feel like the whole production would be tainted by this fear.
Yes.
Because it's like, these movies were finished.
Yeah.
They went all the way to completion, and then they were like, nah. Mm-hmm. You just, like, no, I don't know. How do you
Plus,
get through
is it like such
like
a surprise? Like, are you expecting for it to come out? And then they tell, like, the director, like, hey, it's not going to come out.
We're actually not doing it.
Yeah. We're like, it proved not to do well or whatever.
I don't even know, man. That's terrible.
So, and, it's pretty... I'm glad that they're reaping the not their rewards, I guess, but...
Reaping what they've sown.
Yeah, where they people aren't giving them movies and stuff. They're really suffering for making these anti-art decisions.
Yeah, it feels, I don't know. It's like, I always hesitate to make judgments from afar, but that just sounds like just a move, like just a money move, and nothing else. Like,
yeah,
and because what happens? How do people get paid? Like.
So that is the question. So usually depends on your contract and all that stuff, but some people will get royalties based on the ticket sales of the movie,
which there won't be any.
Mm-hmm. So then if it goes, and that was the whole, the strike, the actor strike and everything, that was based on streaming. And because people wouldn't get paid if it was on streaming,
right.
They wouldn't get like royalties or any of that. So that's what the strike was all about.
Yeah.
On top of like AI and other things.
Mm-hmm.
People could get paid for streaming rights now. They could get paid for revenue just based overall. You can get a percentage.
Yeah.
So there are ways to get paid, but while you're making the movie, I don't know how that works.
Right. Because if you make the movie, your contract is based on like sales, and then there aren't any. I don't know. It just seems to be a lot of problems, and sounds like a huge hiccup. I wonder how long that'll continue.
Well, so it's funny you say that. The latest update I've heard, and I think this was like yesterday, I believe it was a senator in California. I didn't catch his name, but he is now contacting the FTC and saying, hey, check into this Warner Bros. Situation, because he says it's the equivalent of someone burning down a building and collecting the insurance money.
Oh, yeah.
So it is lawfully illegal, is what he's saying at this point.
Well, that makes sense, because it's like to just create a thing that did not exist that is now worth something.
Yes.
To write off at the end of the year. I mean, that's exactly what that is.
Right, because they invested money into it, I assume. But again, I guess it really boils down to when people get paid for the movie.
Right.
If the movie doesn't come out, does anybody get paid?
Right.
Like, how do you put in years of work into something and not get paid that whole... You must make some money in between all that.
I don't know, man.
'Cause people can't survive for a year without making money. Or a month, even, in today's world.
Yeah, there's probably some kind of advance.
But I bet they don't make nearly as much as they would if the movie released, you know?
Of course, yeah. There's got to be some loss there.
Yeah, but you're right. It is like they're making nothing into money.
Yeah.
By just canceling it.
Yeah, so it doesn't surprise me that it does sound a little bit loopholey, if you will.
Yeah, I'm curious. And I'm curious where that idea came into play in the first place.
Yeah.
They're the only ones doing it. There's definitely been movies that are canned, but it's very rare to hear a finished movie get canned.
I really hope it gets stopped here, because I feel like it could give studios ideas.
Oh, yeah.
That's a scary thing. I don't like that.
But people are so anti-Warner Brothers right now. And this is after where, I believe it was earlier this year where they canceled a ton of cartoons and removed a bunch of them from their platform because Discovery was like, oh yeah, cartoons just don't do well. So we're going to cancel all these shows.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, they've really been rough.
It's not cool.
But yeah, it's just kind of a crazy development in the movie world.
That is a crazy development.
That there are now currently 3 full, pretty high-profile movies that are just, they're finished and just not out there.
And we'll never see them.
Unless someone leaks them at some point.
Ooh, leaky.
leaky.
That's the crazy thing to me. Like, leaks have to be intentional to some degree.
Yeah.
Because if anything were going to get leaked, it would be something like this.
Yes.
And it doesn't.
Batgirl, I'm waiting for the day. Because I know it's going to get leaked.
Yeah.
There's no way.
It's just funny, like, when something leaks early, it's like, I think they must do that on purpose.
Why?
Because why would something like this not already be leaked? You know what I mean? Like, if something that's going to come out is so easy to leak, why would something like this
be so hard to leak? Yeah.
Like, I just feel like there's got to be PR behind when something's like, oh, God, someone leaked it early.
But why leak the whole movie? Because then you wouldn't, like in this case, for something that's actually coming out, because then people just won't go to the theaters to see it. Unless there's a statistic where the people who, like, pirate it or watch it will talk about it, and people who are honest will go to the theater and
maybe, yeah. Yeah, because it hasn't always worked positively. I guess I was thinking of, like...
But, like, trailers and stuff, or, like, screenshots, like, you can leak that stuff, and it's not painful. Because people are like, oh, this looks cool, or it looks bad.
Yeah. Wolverine.
Oh.
Wolverine was not done any favors by being leaked.
Nope.
That's crazy. Dude, what news straight from the bulletin board?
Oh, we try to bring the highlights. So I'll keep you posted in future podcasts if there's any new developments. And keep your eyes open. It sounds like the movie might be coming to streaming eventually.
Yeah.
I hope it does. Cause...
Me too. I'm so curious to see it now, to be like, okay, this movie, like, if you watch it and it's great, like, I can confirm Warner Brothers was just, like...
trying to make a quick buck.
Yeah, so weird. I mean, speaking of movies...
Let's go to video... Just kidding. Movies! Yo, Susie Pizza, welcome in.
Oh, it's a Susie Pizza.
Yo, thanks for the booty. Thanks for the Scooby.
Thanks.
Hope you guys are doing well. How are you today? Susie, I hope your stream is going well. I saw you were on earlier. We've been working all day. Work. Wow. You hear that? But yeah, that was that. that was that. We made a GPT that helps with songwriting.
That's cool.
Brett, go get it.
What are you trying to say?
Go get the GPT.
Okay.
Because you can't write songs.
That's true.
Oh!
Dang, bro.
Brett, did I tell you that they put hot dog as a sandwich in this? Right?
Like it's in the sandwich section?
Yeah, hold on. Let me show you.
That's not cool.
Let me show you. Soups and stews.
Soups and stews.
We're looking at Sonic Encyclopedia. It gives you chord progressions, lyric ideas. Oh my god.
That's really cool.
That's amazing, actually. Maybe I can write songs now.
You should.
Yeah, so, dude, ready? Sandwiches?
Yeah.
Chili dog.
The first one?
The first one.
That's trash.
Chili dog.
I can never trust this franchise again.
Yeah.
I can never trust these French fries again.
McCollection. Yo, not McCollection. MC.
Collection.
I like
the Mick Collection.
Yo, here's the McCollection.
Tim's always looking for that McDonald's sponsor.
Yo, that'd be fun to check it out, though. Is it, like, finished? Can we... Scottish Tim? It's me, Mick Collection. Is it?
That's
Can we
great.
use it? Hot dogs are actually closer to salads than sandwiches. Snoop, why can't you come in here with a hello?
What's up, Snoop?
Closer to salads? What if you just have a plain hot dog?
Yeah, it's basically a salad.
I'm so upset about that sentence because you're probably right. Did I not bring the? Never mind.
I'm not bringing the...
Did I? But welcome in, guys. We're gonna get back to it
Welcome.
because Brett's on a time crunch. I
Only-
guess he's got like a family to go
Only a
back
little
to. So we're gonna jump right back into the podcast, but we'll be back.
This is
after.
gonna be a good movie
a
segment.
good segment. Brett wants to record it. Brett, you want me to just do it by my hand? Record it
by my hand.
like the whole
thing. You're just gonna do that. Yeah, that's perfect. Why didn't we just put it over there?
What do you mean?
No, it's...
You gotta be bold.
I gotta be
You gotta be.
Nah, it's all right. I'll
wild.
pull it from this at some point.
Okay.
Maybe the conversation will suck. You know?
Maybe. Wow. Brett's got no hope.
That's not true. Don't lie about my character. Boop. Don't make that face at me. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out. This has been the Keep Up Podcast. And I can hear you breathing. We have a lot of cool stuff to talk about in movies. Tim is just looking at me and breathing into the mic, so let's just have a pause for that. So I'm not sure what's going to snap him out of it. It's been going on for a long time, and I guess I'll just carry it myself. So there's a brand new Resident Evil movie that came out on Netflix the other day. It's a CGI... I almost said live action, but it's not live action. That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. Unless CGI could stand for congenital...
My eyes, my
Dude,
vision.
why are your eyes bleeding?
I was losing it. Oh shoot! Oh my god!
That was so long.
I know. I was seeing how long I could do it. World record, baby.
It's pretty good. Were your eyes open the whole time?
Yeah, I didn't blink once.
Oh my god.
I was focused.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah.
That's probably over a minute.
Yeah. Dude.
Your eyes look like they're going to roll out of your head.
I've been really good
My
Anyways, I have been strangely good at not blinking. I don't know why. It's like
You
a
have
talent.
been?
I have been. I have been.
Like your whole life or recently or something?
My whole life.
All right, good.
I don't know. It's just a talent or a curse.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm like pretty good at holding my breath. So
Yeah.
maybe we each got a different power.
Great. Mine's useless. Although it could be good
you can keep it open.
if I'm being tortured, they don't have to like hold my eyes open. I'm like, guys, I got it.
I got it. Yeah.
You trust me.
Do the other stuff.
Yeah.
Work on the fingernails or whatever.
But I can keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
So Resident Evil,
Death Island.
the live action CGI movie.
Live action CGI
That Brett
2D
says.
animation that just
Better
came
than
out.
Coyote versus Acme.
Well, as far as we know. So it's very, very strange timing because last week, for whatever reason, I got
Pregnant.
yes.
Yeah.
So I want to announce that right now.
Congratulations.
Just the way this happened is exactly how I want to announce the pregnancy. No, I got like the hankering.
Okay.
Not a word I love, but the only one I can think of.
Dude, you got the hankering.
For some Resident Evil movies. So
Why not?
I think it's probably because I'm dying to play Resident Evil again.
Your
and I still
hands
can't.
are controlling your brain right now.
Yeah, so I was like, well, at least I could watch Resident Evil. So I went back and I watched the first Resident Evil movie.
Yeah.
I watched Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Classics.
And oddly enough,
Uh-huh.
I like the day after, or you know, a couple days, whatever. I'm not trying to lie to you. I'm giving like I'm summarizing what happened.
Right.
Okay, so I don't want anybody to get super caught up in the specifics and then be like, Brett, was it really the day after you watched it? And I'm like, honestly, if I think about it, it wasn't. It might have been 2 or 3 days after.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be as honest with you as I can, but while also keeping the story going.
Sure.
So shortly after that, I saw an ad on Instagram for Resident Evil Death Island. And I was like, what's that? And
What? You knew what that was.
I didn't know, because all these CGI Resident Evil movies look exactly the same.
They do kind of bleed into one another.
Yeah, and they're just like, I don't even know if it's an ongoing story.
Yeah, so after seeing Death Island, do you think it connects to anything?
I have no idea, because the things that they reference in the game or in the movie are just things that happen in the games. And every one of them is like Chris, Jill, Claire, Leon, and then Ada shows up every now and then. Yeah. So it's like, here's
Jill,
all your main
this is the
characters.
first time Jill has been in any of these CGI movies.
No, it's not. Really?
It's always Claire or Rebecca or Ada.
Oh yeah, Rebecca's in this one too.
Yeah.
So that's so Jill does reference in this how she was brainwashed for a while, but I'm like, is she referencing the games? I don't remember.
Also, so that Jill must take place after Resident Evil 5.
Yes.
Jill.
Yeah.
Weird.
I know.
Because doesn't she look like Resident Evil 3 remake Jill?
Yes.
Weird. Okay.
Dude, she's like, all right, I'm not brainwashed. Black to my blue tank top. Like,
yeah.
That's how.
I'm going back to my.
Maybe it's a tube top.
Yeah, I think it is a tube top.
What's the top that doesn't have straps?
Because tank top is
straps.
Because tanks have straps.
Right.
And tube tops are like a tube sock without the bottom.
But this one has a bottom. Like, it starts at the ladies.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean?
How do you put it on? You like put your arms in the air?
It just goes on like when you. Yeah, of course. Wait, what are you saying? You just put your arms straight up in the air?
Is it on her whole body, like your legs?
Yeah. Am I wrong about what that Jill looks like?
No, I think you're right.
Hold up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a tank top. She doesn't. Jill, yeah, it's a tube top. Do more. I want more people to wear tube tops.
You do?
Yeah.
That's what you want?
Just in life.
Oh, you know what?
It's a tubey tank?
It is. The remake is like a tank top. I'm thinking of
that. Oh, the original. That's what I was thinking of.
Which I think is what she wears in Apocalypse.
Oh.
The live action.
Yeah.
But this is like what she looks like in...
Got it. In the new game.
Yeah, so it's like a tank top. Anyways, not terribly important.
Yeah, no.
But yes, she does look like that. Resident Evil Jill. Why did we even talk? Oh, I was trying to make a joke about as soon as she's not brainwashed, she's like, what are the clothes, the only clothes I wear every day?
I forgot my usual.
Yeah, so this movie is it's really fun. It's like the other ones. The action's pretty cool. It's not, I don't not like it, but it's not my favorite animation in the world.
Yeah. It looks like realistic.
Yeah.
It's the closest that any of these like video game movies look like the video game.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. They could all be like a long cutscene. But in some ways I kind of feel like the cutscenes in the newer games like look better. It's something about the shading, or I don't know what it is, but it still looks great and it's fun. It's a really fun, low stakes action movie. Okay. Basically is what I feel like they all are. There are very cool monsters. There's a couple of really great fight scenes, I will say that. I need to watch. You actually got me the Blu-ray collection of the 3 animated movies before this one.
Heck yeah.
And
good job, past him.
I haven't watched those in forever, so I actually might go through this weekend and watch those 3 because I'm pretty sure one has Nemesis in it, and I just don't remember how the stories all connect.
It's been so long. There's like isn't there one at the airport?
I think there's an airport one. One's called Vendetta. That's the most recent one before this. And
then they had the show, The Infinite Darkness? Eternal Darkness? No. Darkness Falls?
Dark Eternity on Mega Orion? I think it's called.
Probably. But yeah, these are things like, this is, I think, for the fans. Like, it's all kind of fanfare. Like, you don't...
It is.
Because the stories have never really been, like, captivating to me.
No.
It's always just the action.
That's the thing. The story's kind of whatever. It's, there's someone who was wronged by Umbrella, but then they become just as corrupt as Umbrella is, and they're trying to use the T-virus for whatever.
Yeah, what's Infinite Darkness?
Infinite Darkness, yes. Which I felt similar. Like, it was fun. It was a cool watch. It's not anything, like, groundbreaking. Like, I would say... I didn't get as excited as I did about Onimusha when I was like, how's this episode going to end? Because I know there's going to be some big crazy thing. I will say, I guess the equivalent in these Resident Evil movies is what's the giant monster going to look like? But again, this one did have some really cool zombie sequences, some horde sequences. There's a twist on the virus that is a little scary. Like, ooh, that would actually be really difficult to deal with. People getting infected that you don't expect to get infected. But the reason I call it low stakes is in every one of these, the same as when you play the games as like a Leon or a Chris or Jill, you're not like, you're gonna live through it. You know what I mean? And it feels that way in the movies too.
Okay.
So there's no, I just realized when watching it, I'm like, oh, that's what makes this feel a little like, yeah, low stakes is the term. I know everyone's going to be safe at some point, and there are a few moments where you're like, I don't know how they're going to get out of this, but they're definitely going to get out of this. Because there are people, like I said, people who get infected that you're like, are we really going to lose this person to the virus? But you know you're not gonna.
Right, they won't like kill them off. Now, I will say with the movies, you do have like the potential of it happening because it's the movie universe. But because they connected so much to the canon, as far as like, now I don't know if what happens in the movies happened in the games,
right?
But obviously what happens in the games are like connected to the movies. So I don't know, but you're right. Like that technically could be true with most things you watch or play.
Yes.
You know, you don't. Well, no, I guess not.
It could. I guess the point is like this feels like that type of. They're just action movies.
Yeah, you just know everyone's going to be fine because they're like, well, they're not going to kill off Jill at the end of this. Like,
and it's not that they don't get put in situations where you feel for them and they are in danger and stuff like that, but that's what it is. It's an action movie.
You know what it is? It's the prequel problem. Where if you're watching a prequel, why can't I say prequel?
It's a tough one.
It's I'm having a hard time. It's all the sugar. Where you watch a prequel and you know the characters obviously survive to the next movie or game or whatever, so you're like, okay, this makes everything feel really low stakes. You know, like like the Star Wars prequel movies and stuff like that. You know, like, okay, these characters are in the next one, obviously, so they'll be fine. Relatively.
It's a similar vibe to that. So certain scenarios don't hold the weight that they could if this wasn't an extension of a universe you're already familiar with, and you know you need these heroes for later because they so heavily rely on these main like 4 or 5. And anyone they introduce, you know, is like cannon fodder. Like they could be gone.
Anybody who's new, you're like,
oh, Ronnie, welcome to the team, bro. It's like Ronnie's dead.
You're gonna be here the rest of the movie. You'll be fine.
I can't wait to hang out with you for the entirety of this movie without you being infected by the T virus.
No way.
I would say it's a keeper.
Good.
You know, I am its target audience for sure, so I'll say that. I am also curious, just as you sort of inferred, does this tie into the games at all? Because in a way, and again, I need to rewatch the other animated movies, but it feels like they've done a good job at having things happen in the movies that very well could have happened in the games, but they're like inconsequential to the game storyline. So like if they did happen, it doesn't really conflict with what happens in the games. If they didn't, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, they just are all like, of course these guys are having other adventures and like having
in between everything we see. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's that's something that'll be on my mind when I'm rewatching the other 3 animated movies. But that's Resident Evil Death Island. You should definitely check it out.
Yeah, I will. I wanted to.
That is on Netflix. It's I think it's a full length, like hour and a half, something like that.
Okay.
And what do we want to jump into next?
I say we do the first one out of the 2.
Okay.
The earlier one.
The earlier one. So we're about to jump into a segment about Universal's Dark Universe.
Yes.
That has since been fully abandoned.
Since like 2017.
Yes, yeah.
We're getting to it in 2023, but you know.
Partially because The Mummy just came out on Netflix.
Yes. And I feel like it hasn't been on anything ever.
No, I know. It's like infamously done very poorly and poorly received. It's got like a 5.4 if you look on IMDb.
Which isn't the worst,
no, it's
but
not
it's
the
not
worst.
Great.
Yeah, and we didn't hear great things about it. And I was very excited when it was coming out.
Yeah. They were hyping it up pretty good. And it's Tom Cruise. You guys know how much we love the Cruise, man.
Love the Cruise. Oddly enough, I mentioned it last week, and I didn't even know. One of the first movies I watched after my surgery when I was just like chilling was Dracula Untold.
Dracula Untold.
And I had no idea that this was the unofficial first release in the Dark Universe.
Right.
And anyone who's unfamiliar with the Dark Universe, this was in 2017. We're seeing all these universes on the heels of the MCU, the DCEU, the MonsterVerse with Godzilla and Kong, even things like Scoob,
Yes.
which had all of these Hanna-Barbera characters make cameos. We're seeing the universe thing and multiple movies playing into each other being tried by a lot of different studios. Universal were kind of like the first time that ever happened in cinema, back with the what was it, Wolfman meets Frankenstein.
Yep.
I think it was Frankenstein meets Wolfman meets the Wolfman.
Was that the first one? All I know is like Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein.
Yes, yeah. The point being, those were the first like crossovers where it's like, oh, these creatures exist in one universe. So
which that's a messed up world to be in.
I know, right?
World where you have Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula,
Yeah,
like no one's safe.
I know, and they just run into each other.
They're like, oh.
And then them in 2017. Well, when did Dracula Untold come?
2014.
2014. So Universal had a plan to basically do it again. Let's make The Mummy, let's get Dracula, let's get all these monsters together, and they had a long plan. Dracula Untold actually had a lot of reshoots. Not to jump ahead here, we'll talk about the movie in a sec, but it had a lot of reshoots to tie into what would be the Dark Universe.
Right.
Which I thought was really interesting, and I just want to put a pin in that for later, because this whole thing I found very fascinating on like an artistic level. Did you just watch Dracula Untold for the first time?
Yeah, like two days ago.
Okay, so it's really fresh for me too.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I actually really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, I don't remember what initial impressions were when it came out. I don't think it was like beloved, you know. I think like people saw it and they were like, it was, you know,
it felt pretty whatever.
Yeah, it was like one that people didn't need to see. But essentially the movie is just a retelling of Dracula's origin. Yeah. Because, you know, a lot of times we see Dracula, and the earliest you see him is the Demeter when he's on the ship.
Sure.
And they're like, that's where he is. That's the start of Dracula.
Yeah.
Which is him. But you know, so this was cool just to see like a modern take, even though it's old, but like a modern version of a classic story.
Yeah, it's a different... What was interesting to me is like, it's a different angle than I'm familiar with on Dracula.
Yes.
On who he is, what his motivations are. And it really is like a retelling.
Yeah.
The vampire elements I thought were really cool, really well done. And it's ultimately a dark fantasy action movie. It's not scary or anything like that, really. But I thought the action elements were insane.
Yeah, I thought showing how powerful Dracula is, especially in like a war aspect, like him fighting like armies and stuff, was really cool.
Yeah, it was very different than like a horrific sort of lording of power over a mere mortal kind of thing.
Yep.
Rather than that, like you said, putting him in a war scenario was like, it was kind of like Underworld type stuff.
Yeah,
you know? And it's like, I want to...
I think that's why I enjoyed it a lot, because it felt like Underworld, felt like early 2000s vampire movies. Because
I love that era.
It's so good. There's something love that about that time frame being just like, they nailed it. They nailed it. But yeah, I thought the story was good. I liked his motivation to, you know, becoming Dracula, and how it all unfolded felt like, not realistic, but it was a story I could get behind. Yeah.
Yeah, and they kick off the story right away, just to kind of give you guys some context with he's got a long violent past of victory after victory in battle, and then at some point, they were a little bit vague about this, but has a change of heart at some point, looking back on how much violence he's left in his wake, and now he's trying to do right by his family and his people.
Which, I mean, I don't know if you know, but Vlad the Impaler was always the inspiration for Dracula.
Yes, that's right. I did know that. But I don't know, is that like accurate to...
I don't know. I mean, how accurate is like Dracula lore, but yeah, like
it was 100% fact,
right? It's true. It's true. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the inspiration was there, but I don't know enough to say like that was the direct inspiration. But
this felt to me like just like they used the name Vlad.
Yeah,
and like I know that he's the inspiration, but
I don't know. Right? I don't, because Vlad was real, I think.
Yes, but this character is very much a protagonist.
Yes.
So that felt like a new take to me.
Yeah, because Vlad the Impaler is like a dark,
real
evil
life
man.
Villain. And Dracula is typically a villain. But this had more of an air of like a hero story. And so that's the part where I was like, all right, this is a retelling, not just like, not a remake. Like, you know, this is a retelling. It's a new story. Again, that's how it felt to me.
Mm-hmm.
So watching it without the context of the Dark Universe was very, I mean, I felt how you felt about it. I was like, this is a pretty cool fantasy action movie.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're into that kind of thing, if you like the underworld era, vampires and action rather than vampires and horror, but it still has that dark fantasy element, I'd say it's definitely worth a watch. The action scenes were cool.
Yep, keeper for sure.
Yeah, definite keeper.
So the reshoots.
Yeah.
Where the movie ends off apparently was not the original ending.
Exactly.
Because of the Dark Universe, they had to make it connect.
Yes.
Which I liked that angle they took.
I did too.
If you've played Castlevania Lords of Shadow,
yeah, it had a lot of that.
They had a lot of that. So which was cool. But so yeah, the reshoots, you know a little more than I do, I imagine. But
so I watched, after watching The Mummy, I watched a couple of YouTube videos just kind of chronicling the Dark Universe.
I was going to say that probably would have been pretty cool to check out.
It's very cool. You should, even after this. I'll give you all the key points because it just, this whole thing was so interesting to me. What is interesting about the reshoots is when Universal was really hyping up The Mummy and promoting it, they were calling this the first official entry in the Dark Universe. But they did the reshoots in Dracula Untold specifically to allow it to tie in, because the movies take place in completely different time frames.
Yes.
And they all would moving forward. So they had plans for, at the time of the release of The Mummy, I think three different movies. They were gonna have Angelina Jolie as the Bride of Frankenstein.
Right.
They were gonna have Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man.
Yeah, I knew about that one. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Bride of Frankenstein one. That's cool.
So I only know from watching the YouTube videos, but it
Yeah.
was going to be like this really dark gothic tale, and like hearing the description of it, I was like so bummed that it didn't work out.
What was the third one? You remember?
I'm trying to remember. Who else is there? So
Wolfman? Dr. Jekyll.
They were Channing Tatum as Van Helsing.
Okay.
We have Jekyll.
Right, we do have Jekyll. I just didn't know if they would do a movie.
Yeah, no, they didn't mention that. And then who else did you just say?
Wolfman. Yeah.
I don't think they had one. I can't remember, but they had slated some releases with directors attached, and writing was getting done and all of that. So The Mummy comes out in 2017 and does horribly.
Yes.
And basically immediately ends the Dark Universe. It just doesn't. They're like, okay, it's not working. It's done.
Not, which is crazy to abandon it after the first movie.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about The Mummy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It finally came out on Netflix.
Yes.
I mean, it's been like 6 years.
Yeah. We were hyped about it when it was coming to theaters. We didn't catch it in theaters. And then, if I recall, it has not come to a streaming platform until now.
Yeah.
Which makes sense if it failed. I mean, nobody was probably like, I'll spend, $20,000 to get that on my platform.
Someone needed to buy it, or
I don't know why, and maybe it was on one and we just didn't have it. I don't know. Movies get shifted around all the time, so it was on. You told me like 2 weeks ago or something, like, oh, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, well, I'm gonna watch it.
Absolutely, now's the time. So, I mean, on the whole, I mostly really enjoyed it.
It was a movie.
Okay. Yeah, so that was yours. I asked you because you watched it first. But I was watching it and like, I don't know, man. I'm sad that this didn't work, that it didn't land. It does a little bit too much, for sure. There are moments in the movie where I was like, we didn't need this.
One of the biggest things to me is I just couldn't get behind Tom Cruise's character.
Really?
I didn't like him.
Interesting. I didn't have a problem with him.
I felt like he felt more like, and that's kind of the theme of the movie, like a vessel. Like he was just there to get the story along.
Yeah. He is a little bit. And this is also, people also refer to this as a remake of the 1990s Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
But
it's definitely not.
I don't know. The videos that I watched were referring to it as that, like a remake of that.
It doesn't share any of the story threads.
No, it doesn't. It's just, I mean, just the main one, I guess.
Yeah,
like unearthing
I would
the
say
ancient
maybe
mummy.
it's like more related to the original Mummy back in the day.
I don't know. I've never seen that one.
Yeah, it's and not even like story threads or anything. It just feels more like that story than the Brendan Fraser one. But.
Yeah. So in this one, it starts off. I totally forgot Jake Johnson was in this movie. And I love him. So Jake Johnson and Tom Cruise are soldiers who also kind of go rogue on occasion to try to find artifacts that they can sell on the black market.
Treasure hunters.
So yeah, so that leads to some crazy nonsense in a small village, and they end up unearthing this tomb, and that leads to perhaps the unleashing of an ancient mummy princess. I thought the action in the movie was mostly really great. There were some shots that I thought were like very, very cool, but were marred a little bit by something I found out later. But for instance, like there's a scene where the ambulance, or I think it's a truck or something, that's rolling down the hill, and Tom Cruise falls out of it, and the ambulance rolls over him. Like
the stunts were cool.
Yeah, the stunts. There were like some Mission Impossible level stunts and fights. What I heard from one of the videos that I watched is that Tom Cruise kind of came in and like took the reins. He only agreed to do it if he could like rewrite some of it, including the ending that largely revolves around him. Apparently that was him.
Okay. And I wonder what the original, because that's what I liked the most was the ending.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
But he apparently like rewrote a lot of it to basically make it a Tom Cruise movie, like way more of an action movie.
Okay.
And that's definitely, I do think this has some attitude in common with the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies. Like it's an action fantasy comedy, like it's got all those things tied in. I thought the monster effects were cool.
That's one of the highlights is definitely the mummy creature. Just in general, like the creatures in general were all pretty cool.
Where it felt a little much for me is they do introduce a whole, so they introduce other monsters, and there's a nod to Dracula. And when we, without giving away too much, when we meet another monster, it felt a little too like on the nose, like, oh, we're building the Avengers. Like it just felt too much like, here's our secret lair, here's our leader. We're assembling.
It was like S.H.I.E.L.D. It was like
it's S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, and so that felt a little over the top. And then there's a fight that I'm like, I wish they introduced this character and then we learned more about him in a movie later. I wish they didn't do quite so much in this movie with it. That being said, I didn't think it was awful or like cringy, but like I said, it just felt a little too like, it's tough with all that the MCU did. I want to see universes connected, but it just felt too familiar. It felt a little copy and paste.
Yeah, I get that, where it's like, it's a lot of build up, and you can tell they really were pushing the dark universe. They were like, this is going to be it. We're going to have this loose thread in every movie. Although the Mummy like took that as their introduction to the dark universe. I assume if we got later movies, they would only be like a loose thread in each one. It's like, oh, they're all going to connect at the end. Also, like, I wonder what the main goal of the dark universe was. Like, if they would have an Avengers level movie.
Well, I think they kind of state it at the end of the movie, to be honest. It's like, you know, there's a, I'm trying to think, because I don't want to spoil the ending, because I will say I do think this movie is worth watching. I don't think, it's not a bad movie, it's not cringy. There were a lot of mistakes made in the marketing, I think, and
I don't think it's great, but like a one-time watch was totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't at any point like, wow, this is rough. It just,
I didn't want to abandon ship, but there were times where I was like, okay, like, have something happen. Like,
so were you bored, or like what were your takeaways from it?
I just like, I didn't like Tom Cruise's character, so it made me it made me like not enjoy it as much as I would.
That's tough, because he is the focus.
He is, it is Tom Cruise City, which, you know, I usually like him and everything.
Who doesn't want to live there?
Right, who doesn't? I wasn't super invested in the main actress either. I didn't really like her. I guess I just didn't really like the characters.
Sure. I mean, that's a big problem.
I feel like none of them were really engaging me into the story.
That's interesting. Because it felt like a very Mission Impossible storyline.
I know, that's what I was hoping for, but Tom Cruise just, again, he felt just like a character that was stupid. Like, he would make dumb decisions. And like, and like knowing at points in the movie where he wasn't making the decisions, like it was someone else. I don't know. It's just he felt like he wasn't a character at all.
I think I liked that because it didn't feel like a character I've seen him play before.
I'd rather see him as a character I've seen him before.
Oh man, like 10 minutes in, I was like, is this just Ethan Hunt? And then when it
That's
wasn't,
what I want.
I was like, oh no, he's kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
Like I actually liked that because it was a different character.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have been mad if it was just Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise.
Right.
Because I feel like he's closer to Ethan Hunt in real life than he is to this character he plays. But
we hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I can see how that would kind of muddy the experience for you if you don't like the main characters.
Yeah.
Um,
but there were cool parts, like the stunts we said already were pretty awesome.
What is your feeling on the fact that it got canceled? Like, did you finish it and you're like, oh, good riddance? Or
no, I'm upset. I'm with you. Like, especially the names you just listed out. Like, I would want to see an Angelina Jolie, Bride of Frankenstein movie.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see where it would have ended up.
Yeah,
because I don't think this movie was not bad enough to kill the universe.
No, that's the thing that's crazy to me is. If the universe went on, I feel like it could have been really cool and it would have been really interesting. And while it would have had similar threads to other universes we've seen tied together, it wouldn't have been the same. And I was interested enough in the story they set up here to come back for more.
Yes.
And I would be totally fine with this and Dracula Untold being like the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Because
that's the thing. Like, Dracula Untold showed me what it could be.
Yeah.
You know, like, because again, I really enjoyed that.
You liked that better than The Mummy?
Yep, definitely.
Yep. Okay.
So, like, seeing how that was, and, like, seeing how the origins to the monsters, and what, like, whatever villain they're up against, like, I just think it would be cool to see how they did all those.
Yeah.
And obviously they didn't make it.
It did not work.
Did the Dark Universe intro at the beginning of the movie, was that, like...
Dude.
That was... I don't know how I feel about it. It was cool.
That is my primary note that I want to talk about is based on that bumper.
Yes.
Okay. Can I go into my rant here?
Do it, please.
All right. What blew my mind watching this movie started with that. And what we're talking about is you're all familiar with the Universal intro bumper that comes up when a Universal movie starts. It's just the planet Earth spinning and the Universal is revealed. And in this movie, and in only this movie, the Earth continues to spin and it gets dark and it reveals Dark Universe.
Yeah.
Does it say the Dark Universe?
I think it just says
Dark Universe, just for accuracy's sake. So I saw that knowing now that it does not exist anymore.
Right.
And they were calling this the official first entry. And there was another thing that I found out that I'm going to tie all this in together, but that they had posted, Universal had posted I think on Twitter, a picture of all of the main actors. Johnny Depp, Russell Crowe, Angelina Jolie. I think there were five or six total. And it was later revealed, it said like, here's to new beginnings, or this is the beginning, or something like that.
Right.
Like, oh, Dark Universe is here. It was later revealed that those actors were never together.
Oh.
And the picture was photoshopped.
Oh.
And they were just like hyping it up, and it's whatever. Like they were committed to this happening, and they were hyping it up, and that was in the promo cycle for.
Because I remember seeing that picture.
Yeah, they're all like, I forget who's sitting down. Someone's sitting down, and they're all like leaning on each other. So it's a very well photoshopped picture.
Yeah, apparently.
They did the reshoots for Dracula Untold, and then there's this Dark Universe bumper at the beginning.
Yep.
And all I could think of while I was watching the movie is like, they were just trying something and it failed.
Yes.
And all I could think about was how crazy it is that art on any level is always a risk.
Yes.
Always. And to see one fail, to see like an artistic idea fail at this level was crazy to me. I don't know why it was hitting me like that, but I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, they made that picture, they posted it, they made the Mummy, they created a specific new, like the Universal logo is like one of the most famous logos ever. They updated it to include the Dark Universe.
Yep.
And then they did the reshoots on a movie that was 3 years old to make sure that it tied in with this new movie. They got Tom Cruise, and then this movie came out and it was done.
That was it.
They called it. That was it. And I just was sitting there like, that is crazy. Like, it doesn't matter how much money, it doesn't matter how famous.
Yep.
Like, art at every level is a huge risk.
Yeah.
And
no matter what.
It just might not quote unquote work. Now, those two movies still exist. I'm like, that's cool. But I don't know. It was just something I was thinking about as far like being a creative myself. And I know a lot of our listeners are creatives. And for anyone who you have your own sort of lane or sphere of art that you operate in, I know I have sometimes been worried to like make a thing because I'm like, oh, what if I don't follow through? Like, what if I get halfway through? Or what if I release it and then I'm not able to do everything I wanted to after? They had full films with A-list actors like slated, ready to go.
Yep.
And then this movie came out, bombed, and they were just like, I guess that's that.
Well, we tried.
Crazy.
I think they abandoned it too early. I think
I
they
agree.
should have given it at least one more movie.
Yeah.
But let me actually, I'm going to look at how bad The Mummy did. Because I just don't, it blows my mind that this movie did so poorly that it scared them away from doing any of them, because they could have just done the movies disconnected at that point.
Right.
Like, how do you, maybe it was too much of an investment.
Well, after that, Blumhouse came out with The Invisible Man,
right,
which did great, but that was that. Like, it had nothing to do with the Dark Universe.
Johnny Depp wasn't in it or anything.
Yeah.
So budget was 125 million. Opening weekend was 31 million. Overall in the U.S.
Yeah.
Overall gross in the U.S. was 80 million. Okay. And then worldwide gross, 409 million.
That sounds pretty good.
That's more than 125 million.
Yeah, I mean,
China friggin' did really good. Yeah, so internationally 140 million. Weird. So, I mean, that seems kind of successful to me.
And this is why I looked up those YouTube videos, because I was like, did they actually call it?
Yeah.
Because I watched the movie, I'm like, this isn't that bad.
No.
And everything I just said, like, they did all this work to get these movies lined up to work.
Yeah.
And
it really doesn't look like it did that bad.
I don't know, man. It's so weird. It's so weird that they called it.
Right, because we've never seen something as hyped up as this fail so quickly. You know, we've seen the DCEU, and that...
Dude, we just saw that Aquaman's coming out in like a month and a half.
And they killed the universe.
Why? Right, they ended the universe and are still putting movies from that universe out.
And it's from WB, who's been selling off all these terrible movies.
I don't understand what's going on.
I don't know. They stuck with The Flash, too. That should have been dead like 10 times over.
Yeah, I mean, watching that note, or I guess, I don't know, just being confused as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, if you guys haven't seen The Flash and you've been following that at all, like, it is just it feels like we're watching characters that just don't exist anymore.
Right.
Like, that have no... Maybe it's the opposite of the prequel thing, where it's like you're watching something that should have more later, but you know it's not gonna.
Right, you're like, what are they gonna do with this?
Yeah, it's very, very weird, and I just felt that same way watching The Mummy. I was like, I don't understand why this got canned. Like, this whole universe got canned. So I don't know if it was based on critical response. I mean, if it made the money... I mean, I've definitely seen worse movies make enough money to get a sequel.
Yep.
And, like, the movie wasn't any good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's... I don't understand the logic behind it. But it must have just been too expensive. All the names and everything, it just ultimately wouldn't have paid out.
I mean, I suppose because our, like, takeaway from the public reaction was that it was a bad movie.
Yes.
So maybe that was enough to make them be like, are we really going to invest in the next movie in this franchise?
Yeah.
When people already have such a bad taste in their mouths about it.
Maybe they thought there would be fatigue for universes and stuff, and eventually there is.
Yeah.
You know, Marvel right now, people are like, they don't want to even look at it.
Dude, like, the Marvels is out, and I have, like, no pep in my step to get out and see it.
Plus, like...
and I don't say pep in my step. Like, that's not a phrase I use at all.
It got you. And I keep forgetting that Secret Invasion, I think...
Yeah.
That came out, and that has, like, Nick Fury, and it's like...
Oh, yeah.
And nobody watched it. Came and went.
I didn't watch it.
Nope. And then Loki's the only one that I want to go back to right now.
I do want to, yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm 5 shows behind now, I think.
I don't think I've ever been this far behind in Marvel stuff, but I'm also just fatigued. So
yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've looked this up, but the Dark Universe has a new, you'd call it, I guess, continuity.
Okay.
So these movies are officially part of the, and the Dark Universe is dead, but these movies are part of it. And I don't know why they're part of it, but they are. So obviously Dracula Untold, The Mummy, The Invisible Man, like you said.
Yeah.
So that's like a part of it. Renfield.
Okay.
And the most recent one was The Last Voyage of the Demeter. And I think it only connects because it involves the Universal monsters.
That has to be it.
That's the connecting factor.
That just sounds like a list of like modern retellings of the Universal monsters.
Yeah.
Because 3 of those movies have a Dracula.
They do.
Like
3 different Draculas.
How can they be the same?
They can't.
Unless, I mean, dude, I'll take an interdimensional like monster series
universe
all day.
That would be nuts.
Like one of the YouTube videos I was watching, I wish I could remember the creator's name. I apologize, but I was so stoked watching that one because that dude was like me. He's like, I am the target audience for a monsterverse, like for a universal monsterverse, like. Give me 3 Draculas from different timelines, and like he wasn't talking about different timelines, but he was just talking about how he would have wanted this to work, and it could have been really cool. And
I would have stuck with it.
Absolutely,
I mean, the Mummy wouldn't have turned me away from it. That's for sure.
And I think it had enough in it that it could have been like its enjoyability could have been increased by future installments. I think, you know, like. Iron Man 3 was not my favorite watch, but I can watch it in a run through of all the Marvel movies.
Right.
Now.
It's an okay puzzle piece, but by itself, it's like, oh, I don't need you.
Yeah. But then again, I have friends who love that movie. So, but yeah, I don't know. That was, the experience with The Mummy was a much more interesting one than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to watch it and just be like, well, whatever. Yeah, it was wildly mediocre.
Yep.
But I actually thought it had a lot of cool concepts introduced. It had some cool action. I didn't mind the characters, but you're not the first person I've heard say that they felt a little empty, so that could be just I personally didn't mind the characters and I enjoyed them.
You were there for the ride.
And the fact that I was really pleased with the ending in a way I wasn't sure. I thought that was when it was going to all fall apart for me, and it didn't.
Yeah. That's what I felt like was the strongest story-wise and character-wise and stuff like that.
Which is what gave me so much hope and like for what could have been, and then being like, wow, I get it's so crazy that they just called it.
Yep.
It's such a weird standalone movie too, because it very much spends all its time building a world
that
like
doesn't come out, that doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's wild. It just is so many loose ends and stuff, and it's crazy. Where do you rank it? A keeper or sleeper?
I don't think it's bad enough to be a sleeper. I don't think it's good enough to be a keeper.
Really?
I would put it as keeper.
Yeah.
Because there are more good elements than there are bad elements for me. And it doesn't do anything horrifically offensive. It's just more so like it'll fall flat in places where some people like you it won't fall flat for.
No, yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
I would say it's a keeper. If you're a Tom Cruise fan, like if you like Tom Cruise movies, and I think if you liked the Brendan Fraser Mummy, that one is superior. But I think you could enjoy this movie.
I don't agree, but that's okay.
You don't agree that someone who liked that movie would like this movie?
I don't think so.
Interesting.
Because the other one has such a high level of adventure.
Yes, that was lacking here.
Yeah.
But there wasn't none. It was just it felt different.
Yeah, it was different. It felt darker, you know.
Yeah.
I just don't think the people who watch that Mummy movie should go in expecting the new Mummy to be like the old one.
No, it's not.
I don't think there's many things that are like, this was just like that movie. You
know? No, nothing's just like that. I think the biggest thing is the tones are balanced way better in the Brendan Fraser Mummy.
Yes.
I think that's the biggest thing that the reason that lands so well.
Because it's got comedy, it's got action, it's got romance, it's got it all in there.
Yeah.
And the new one does, but it all is just not.
It's not as evenly balanced for some reason, and I can't exactly tell you why.
It's the dark universe. It's just darker.
It's too dark.
It's too dark.
It's too dark and serious. Too dark.
Too dark. But yeah, we salute you, Dark Universe, for trying.
that song?
Brett, I haven't been to many death marches. But yeah, I'm happy to say I've seen them at least.
Yeah.
That and Dracula Untold. Mummy and Dracula.
Mummy Dracula.
Mummy Dracula.
Mummy Dracula.
Mummy Dracula.
Dracula and Mummy Untold.
Mummy Untold.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanna tackle something next. That's it. That's the end of that sentence.
What?
I wanna tackle something similar to the Dark Universe. Not obviously talking here, but just my next movie adventure.
Yeah,
I want to do something that had a couple movies and didn't succeed.
That's the other reason I want these things to succeed, because there were some copy and paste moments, but I want to see what else you're gonna do. What are your other ideas?
Where could this have gone?
Yeah, and that's actually, I feel like the next thing we have upcoming is James Gunn's kind of reboot of the DCU.
Yep.
And I'm very intrigued to see how that goes, because I'm not gonna lie, my curiosity is through the roof about Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
But if I watch that movie and it's great, I'm just gonna be mad. Because it shouldn't. At this point, it shouldn't.
I'm not gonna go to the theaters to see that.
No.
Also, Blue Beetle came and went.
Oh my gosh, I forgot that movie even came out.
That's might be on streaming now, actually, on HBO.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yep.
Is that so? And do we know where that falls?
I believe it's part of the old universe, but he is being brought over to the new one.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I think you might be right.
Yeah, and I missed Shazam 2. I didn't watch that one either.
Forgot it existed.
Yep. That's the thing. It's all all just kind of pushed under the rug.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well. Are we done here?
I think so.
Yeah.
I had in chat, Tichu asked if we could be any monster from the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could talk. Any movie monsters from the
all do,
Universal movies. What would you be?
Ooh. All right. Dracula's extremely powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty autonomous. So when he's lording his power, he's just doing so by his own free will. So I could be Dracula and just not be a jerk.
Right. Right, because at least Dracula Untold proves that he can be okay.
Right. Frankenstein is a very tormented soul.
That is, you don't want to be Frankenstein in any scenario.
Wolfman, the obvious answer for me is Wolfman.
Right.
But also, he's out of control.
Yeah, most of the time when you see Wolfman, it is a full moon and he transforms against his will and becomes the Wolfman.
I want to be in control, even if I only get to do it on full moons. That'd be tight.
See, if we had the Wolfman movie come out from the Dark Universe, you would know if he could control it or not.
We had the 2010 one.
I never saw that one.
It got abysmal ratings. People
really?
Hated it. And I remember seeing it, but I don't really remember how I felt about it. That is actually also on... That's weird. They just put that out on Netflix, too.
I saw that, yeah. I guess it's just all the monster movies.
Yeah. I don't know why.
A little late.
I know.
We're in November.
I swear that happens every year. I want to be a lichen. They just transform at will.
Yep.
But even if it was a full moon, but I'm in an in-control werewolf.
Yep.
And you're like, hey, you want to record Wednesday? And I'm like, full moon, bro. I'm going out.
I can't do it.
I can't. I'm going to jump from rooftop to rooftop and howl at the moon.
Yep.
But maybe the Mummy, Invisible Man.
It's a pretty good option.
What are you doing with it, though, really?
Going into locker rooms?
Right. That's the only thing that people imagine invisible guys doing.
I guess you could also listen to Sonic music. I've technically have done... Well, no. I won't spoil nothing.
What?
Let's just know that I'm trying to make up for Sonic music.
Oh, yeah. Tim forgot it 2 episodes.
2 episodes. And, it was really because Brett has a hard time pressing pause and record.
That's why that took so long. My left hand's still wrapped up, and I tried to stop the recording.
Right. So I was being courteous to him.
Yeah.
Totally intentionally. Anyways, who would you be? What monster?
I don't know. So if you're in the Invisible Man, people immediately assume you're a creep.
Yep.
Frankenstein's tortured. I gotta go Dracula, I feel like.
In this scenario... Dracula's pretty good.
Yeah.
But you can't beat the Bride of Frankenstein.
You better not beat the Bride of Frankenstein, Tim.
Dude, if I have the opportunity to be an all-powerful vampire or Angelina Jolie, I know what choice I'm picking every time. Hell yeah.
Oh, that's so... Banana bread at work, dude? Hell yeah.
I saw that video for the first time the other day.
For the first time?
Yeah.
Is the original video?
No, it was like someone put a bunch.
Bracelet?
Yeah. And I was like, what is this?
Absurd that someone did that. So you've never seen the original video?
No, I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
It's crazy.
It was weird.
Well, I'm glad you've seen it recently for that reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would be Angelina. But dude, she never got to officially be her.
That's fine. So I could be anything.
Yeah,
it could be Tomb Raider 3.
Bride of Frank? Wait.
I can make it into Tomb Raider.
What are you talking about?
Since it doesn't exist anymore, I could just be Angelina Jolie.
That's not a universal monster.
Right, but the movie
What was the question? What Angelina Jolie would you be?
If you could be a universal monster, what would you be? And so I chose the Bride of Frankenstein.
Wouldn't it be crazy to be conscious in another person's body?
Yeah, I always am.
Regardless of whether it's like your Hollywood crush.
Yeah.
Clearly. Is she your...
No.
No?
Rachel McAdams.
Oh, yeah.
She's great.
Yeah. She's beautiful. Kate Beckinsale, bro.
Yeah. She's old now, though. She needs a cane.
She doesn't.
I don't think she's
That's
that
the
old.
thing.
What did she date? We were talking about it the other day on stream. She dated
Pete Davidson?
Pete Davidson.
She did.
What? How? How does that come to be?
Pete Davidson?
Yeah, I guess.
She's young at heart and he's funny.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
That's all you need, I guess. But yeah, if I had to pick, I'd probably, in this scenario, Dracula or the Invisible Man. Not to go into locker rooms.
No, you said what you'd be doing. If
Not to go into locker rooms. To steal money. I'll be a criminal.
Yeah, what could you do?
The money would float with you, though.
That's the thing, is like...
Unless you have, like...
Because you can't... Only you go invisible, right? So,
right,
like, you have to be naked if you want to do anything.
Right. So,
and then what can you do? Anything you touch...
People just think it's ghosts.
That's all I would do is mess with you.
Right, just be a ghost. And are you invisible forever?
No, I don't know. I don't know, dude.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, we're getting out of here. Everyone in chat, drop some words. Tim's going to do what's called End Babble here in a second. Everybody, thank you for listening. This has been episode number 266. You can find us all over socials at The Keep Up Podcast. That is on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also go to our Patreon, patreon.com/thekeepup. If you would like to, for only $1 a month, you can interact with our first poll that we just put up there. We're going to be doing a YouTube video in December, at least one, and you can choose on there from, we have four special options. 4 special options. Can I remember them all? Should I try, Tim? All right, I'm going to try. Number 1, us reacting to old Christmas home videos of us as children. Number 2, the Keep Up's must-watch holiday movies list. Number 3, the Elf's spaghetti breakfast food challenge again. Or number 4, the 4th one, which is a comedy sketch. Dude, I couldn't remember it earlier, but I remembered it now. So yeah, if you anyone who subscribes to the Patreon from the $1 tier up can help curate our content moving forward. So go check that out and check out our other bonuses while you're there. Tim, tell everybody where they can find you.
You guys can find me at Collection Revolution on Instagram, on X, nope, it's not on X, but just type my name in and it'll show up. On Twitch, on TikTok that I'm never on YouTube, Collection Revolution, where you can find all the good things. Brett, where did everybody find you?
Instagram, you can find me at This Drink I Like It. There's a link tree there on my page where you can find all my other work. But you can also hang out with me there and message me there, and we can be besties for life. Tim, scroll up so I can give you your end babble.
Oh, yes, master.
And Tim is going to talk nonsense here for a few minutes and bring us out. Your theme is Froggy Butt Vampire.
All right.
This has been episode number 266. You guys are the best. We love you. Goodbye.
Ribbit. Ribbit. You hear late at night the sound of a froggy outside your window. It's raining. It's cold. The air's frozen stiff. So you think, oh, little frogums, I will let you inside the warmth. You may be cold-blooded, but I am not. And you open the window, and it creaks slowly. And you let the frog in. And as he jumps in, you look behind you, and you see the frog's bum. And his bum, it has a little red on it. A tiny little red dot. And you think, oh, the froggy. He's got a little spot. He's froggy frog. And so the frog, he finds your lucky collection of flies. And he goes, these look delicious. And you go, Froggy, did you just talk? And he turns around and looks at you. And he opens his froggy lips. And you see his sharp fangs. For this is a vampire frog. And his tongue sticks to your face and pulls you in to his gaping, froggy mouth. And he eats your head whole and drinks the blood and spits your bones out like little bullets. And he turns around and eats your fly collection. And he leaves your house never to return. See you later. And so I'll leave you with this. Animals sitting outside of your house should be brought in to be warm. However, they may also be evil. So make sure you get your rabies shots. Make sure they're not vampires. And make sure you got food. And they won't eat you. Thank you. Another podcast in the books.
Another one.
Ashley, welcome in. Snoop, welcome in. I think we said welcome earlier, but hi.
Excuse me.
You can tell Brett has spent years listening to you. That was a great and thank you. It was just a little tale.
A little tale.
Yo, Goomba's here.
Goomba?
How's it going, Goombas? I'm gonna skim through chat. So for those who are getting here right now and you're like, oh, it's the end. I'm going to be streaming after this. Brett has to go visit his family or something.
Whatever.
So I'm still going to be streaming a game after this called The Elephant Collection. Which was a Flash game back in the day where you played as a little blue elephant and you would do the same level again and again, or you would get achievements. It's really cool. So they made a full collection on Steam and I was sent a code. So we're going to be jumping into that.
Yeah.
But before Brett leaves, let's catch up and chat a little bit so we can see what people are seeing. Let's see. Oh my god, there's a lot of chat.
Oh, what do we got?
Came in here with a banger. Let's see. Oh great, that means she will be insecure when it. What am I? Oh, I missed something. Strawberry's working on it. She can identify herself in photos now. Doing a staring contest, and we'll bet who wins. Brett, you and I. No. I would destroy Brett.
I don't know, dude.
I know. I had all the confidence earlier, and then I do it, and Brett wins immediately. I bleed.
You might beat me. Why is this pillow here?
Oh, I don't know. I just thought it would be nice.
Oh, thanks
for
dude.
Once. I still need you to play Detroit. You okay?
Yeah.
What'd you do? Did you hit your hand?
No. The legs swung into my junk.
Oh, that's funny then. Let's see. I still need you to play Detroit. Oh my god, Susie would love that. Next podcast, you should both wear tube tops and tube socks.
Tube tops don't have a bottom, right?
I don't think so. I think they're just one thing you put on.
Google tube top.
I will not. You
will not.
Sonic Tubes Day.
Sonic Tubes Day.
What are you up to on this fine day? I swear you're always awake and up to something. Susie's always working. Wait, Onimusha, the samurai guy? Yeah, it has a new show on Netflix.
Yes.
A new animated show. It's incredible.
It's very good. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend.
Let's see. Susie's going to eat? What are you going to eat? I heard that, Brett.
What?
Don't worry about it. I'm not at my job, but I'm co-working with the podcast on the side, and I can do some gaming later. Yeah! I'm glad we can entertain you, Snoop. Yeah. Thank you for being here. My favorite cruise is Terry.
Oh, Terry has a great cruise.
Mini GPT that helps with songwriting. Yeah. I can put it on the store. Oh, heck yeah. Susie, you're making so many chats.
Making chats.
Making so many GPTs.
GP Tizzle.
Oh, God, Brett, what are you doing? You're shaking my life.
Am I?
Give you chords and lyrics.
This? Why does this shake everything?
I don't know. Farthest I've ever dived into AI for songwriting is Rhyme Zone. Fascinating idea. What do you think of artists that don't write their own lyrics? Rhyme Zone. I always like to write my own lyrics personally, but as long as the artist puts their spin on it and the writers are credited, it's all good. When I was a writer, I took pride in the things I wrote, so I agree with wanting to write all your own. How do you credit AI? That's a good question. Would you ever do that?
Use AI for lyrics?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. When you got the skill, you don't need the thrill.
I like writing. That's part of the thing that I like to do.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, it's more you. It's more you in there.
Yeah.
What's this on the corner of the screen?
I don't think it would work well for the way that I write.
What the hell is that? You see that?
I do see that.
What is that? What is that? Hello?
What is that?
Has that been on here the whole time? You guys see that in the corner? That text right there?
What does it say?
I can't click on it. Is it a chat box? No. Is it...
Why is it over there?
It could be... I don't know. I don't have a lot of things on here. That's the chat box. TikTok.
It's just been there for months.
Every video. What is that? I can't even read it. Hold on, I'm going to get close.
I can't read it either.
It's so tiny. I can't make it bigger. Is it over here? It exists everywhere. It must be a recent thing.
But what? What's that box?
So that is... I'm pretty sure it's the mix it... Is it the sub bar? No, it's the mix it up thing.
What the mother heck?
It's not the alert box. Not the chat box. Yeah, I think...
Get my bag. I'll BRB.
Okay. See you in a bit. Where is that? I don't even... Where's my mix it up file? Nope, it wasn't that either. What the heckity heck? Error user document error. That head emote is freaky. What is that? Is it... what is it? Okay, it's not part of the overlay. Is it game capture? No, I don't have anything else on. It's a sound? What the hell? What sound is it? What? Microphone? Sound alerts, you bastard. You bastard. Sound alerts. Why do we even have sound alerts on any of these? I mean, I know, okay, well, that sucks. But hey, you know, life is living. I wonder if it happened just recently. Also, Tichu, thank you for watching 20 streams. Holy crap. Yeah, I guess they're just implementing a stream streak, and you get extra points depending on how many streams you watch. So that's cool. That's coral. That's coral. Anyways, thank you for zooming in, Goomba. I appreciate that. Let me get caught up here. Budgets for movies don't often account for marketing costs. Also, movies got to be smash hits to really be counted as successful. Oh, you're right. I guess the estimated money does not count for marketing and everything. Does anyone? Oh yeah, QB. That doesn't exist anymore, does it? But you're right, Snoop. That's a good point. Secret Invasion was bad. Is it superhero fatigue or just bad movie fatigue? I don't know. I didn't find the movies. I really enjoy the Marvel stuff. Recently, it feels more like superhero fatigue, but they also just could be bad. Tim's seedy strats. What the hell? What the hell? Not Emmy staring me dead in the eyes as I hand her Cheerios and saying, I farted. So serious. Hey, at least she's honest. You know, you can't go wrong. Home videos? Yeah, it was an idea we came up with earlier today. It's fun. We just got to see what it gets voted on Patreon. We have never found Tim on Twitter. His name doesn't come up. It's better not to look for me. Brett, I figured it out. It was a sound thing.
A sound thing?
Yeah, it's dumb.
It just gets stuck?
Yeah, so it's a like sound alerts, which is like a different form of like sounds people can trigger.
Oh.
But apparently it just got like disconnected.
Das feel it.
Let's see. Tim Fart 69. I saw it offering points for watching streams in a row. Yeah, 6 stream streak, my man. QB was that sphere that did 20 questions? No, it was a short form video. Tim's Twitter is NSFW. You wish, Goomba. You wish. QB was a short form video service. Yeah, they were like 10-minute like movies, but they had like famous people in it. Yeah, no, I never, because you had to subscribe to it like anything else. But do you just throw something at me? What the hell was that?
Me?
Nope. Don't worry about it. There's ghosts in my room.
Not a ghost.
Not a ghost there, love.
Not a ghost.
Not a ghost. Oh, yosh.
Not a ghost.
Not a ghost.
Not a ghost.
Put that there for now. Not a ghost. Sorry.
Alright, you're streaming?
Yes. I'm gonna go pee and stuff. Yes. Yeah.
Alright, guys, enjoy the stream. Thanks for letting me hang out.
Brett, thank you for being here.
Don't tell me my business, devil woman.
You're banned for life. Speaking of things that do as well as expected, anybody ever have a Zune?
No. I had an iPod.
Snoop says, take care, brother Brett.
Later, Snoop.
Hell yeah.
I'll see you guys soon.
Soon.
Hey, I might be able to stream tomorrow, bro.
Oh, yeah, Brett, you're getting your cast off.
This is supposed to come off tomorrow, and assuming my arm doesn't just unravel when he takes it off, I should be able to do stuff again.
To do stuff, I know.
But yeah.
The streams I look forward to coming back.
Oh, man, it should be fun. IGN, streamer bans brother for life.
For life.
That's what we need, controversy.
Yeah, that'll get us there. What can we do, Brett?
Where's it going to get us, dude?
Jail. Yo, good shot, Tim. Thanks, Tim. Okay, so I'm going to go pee, and then I will restart the stream, and we're going to play the elephant game. So give me like 5 minutes. It might be a little longer break because I got a super pee. But, you know, everyone just enjoy the beer. I should just end stream and come back. That's probably a better call, actually. LOL. Pee stream. Yeah, I'm going to end and be back in like 5 minutes, okay? I pee. Everyone gets the alerts. Refresh. And yeah, we'll be back. Thanks for being here. And don't forget. Oh, wait. Sound alerts are off. Don't forget. There you go. I know. You know, I got to watch Simpsons. I got one the other day, Goomba. What was it? I forgot. It was like, Hobby Dooby, I'm Goomba. Yo, where's the congrats? Oh, hold on. Here you go. I lied to you, Snoop. Ready? Ready? Hell yeah. Did it work? I hear noises. Where? Oh, I'm on the keep up one. Oh, the camera's not on. Yo, Jones is a special baby. Okay. Well, remember while I go pee. So I'll be back in like 5 minutes, all right? Don't count, but also count. Be right back. Bye.